Hi, everybody. Welcome to Moving Forward with Audrey. Actually, moving forward with Audrey now. So, today's show is kind of a follow up to a show the podcast I think I did 2 days ago, something like that. Look for it in the listings, and it would have been named Full Forgiveness. And I mentioned that there were steps that I was going to learn to take to do some forgiveness, letting go of the negative effects of anything having to do with that situation in any way, shape, or form that I still had. Okay. And today's show podcast is forgiveness, full forgiveness follow up. Because the guide showed me what to do and I did it, and I am definitely further along. So that is our wisdom topic that we shall be sharing. And if anybody has stuff you've been holding on to because you've judged it and it's horrible and it's just gross and you think, how can I possibly get beyond that? This podcast is for you. All right, so our affirmation for, what am I? I am an ever evolving being. I write up what I am. And right now, I'm focusing a lot on art. I am having the best time creating beautiful, gorgeous, soul energy opening art. Um, okay, so our breathing attunement. Sit comfortably with comfortable clothing. Obviously, if you have to focus on a child or a pet or a senior or anyone for any reason, make sure you're doing that. This is something you do when you can close your eyes, lean back, and allow it to happen. And because it's a feeling, experiential, multidimensional situation. Yes, breathing is. Breathing in is taking in energy and vibration from any number of multidimensional places, spaces, times. So it's always here. It's up to us, anyone, how much they take in. So sit comfortably. If possible, remove shoes, loosen clothing. I always suggest, pretty much always, having good water nearby. And we will start. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. 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 Now pause. Notice how you feel. You may find that you're more centered, more at peace inside and around you. And as you inhale and exhale through the day, you can inhale and exhale peace and allow that to be. Now our affirmation, which is statement of power and intent with action for today, is I allow my multidimensional self to live a life of beauty and contribution, and I take steps to do that. I allow my multidimensional self to live a life of beauty and creation, and I take steps to do that. I'm going to add one more thing. I allow my multidimensional self to live a life of beauty, healing, and prosperity. And I take steps to do that. Do that daily, in the morning and before you go to bed or at dusk. Feel it. Have your hand on your heart. Do that every day for a week. And notice the change inside of you. You continue it more, you can do it more often. But when you awaken and you're up and you've gone to the bathroom, but like when you awaken and at dusk, you can also do it before you go to sleep. But if you do it at dusk, generally you will have been assured of getting it done for the evening rather than falling asleep before you do it, which I have done, and then woken up at bizarre hours. Well, early hours. And so today our frequency stones are these. And as you do this, you really do shift your own frequency. And if you do choose to breathe in and feel it and say it and allow it, peace, generosity, appreciation, gratitud, watch what happens with your life. Not watch like this, just be participating, living and witnessing your own life. It's a look. It looks very white. There is white, but there's also gold and sparkles, and this and orange and green. And this side is deeper. It's like a forest. It's like the greenery in Costa Rica or anywhere. And yes, there are gemstones. And then there's this one. This one has many different facets. These were such fun to paint. Oh my gosh. See the difference? Do you feel the difference with the colors? And when this is in your home, and you can look at it and touch it and see how it changes, it's amazing. Now I know that I painted them, and I'm going to reaffirm painting or writing or anything, doing podcast. Okay, I lift my frequency first. Okay, sorry. I lift my frequency first, so I'm doing it from the higher frequency, not the regular. Please do the lifting process, getting higher and higher, lighter and lighter, freer and freer, regularly. I do it pretty much daily, and then some others. So, follow up to the full forgiveness theme I did. Those of you who remember, I used the definition for forgiveness that I got years ago from the amazing David Markowitz, a healer who used to be based in New York City, as was I, Manhattan, the city. And he told me then forgiveness was letting go of the negative effects of anything anyone, including the self, did or did not do to the self, the person. If you're not free of it, you haven't forgiven. I know people use the word very differently. That's how I use it. It's very different from pardoning. And it has to do always with freeing the self. The other person who may have done whatever it is a separate issue and situation in terms of your pardoning their action. Now, many people can collapse that with a situation, which I have done, because I had heard Okay, I heard Robert Edward Grant speaking about something that he found unforgivable, and he has forgiven. He did go through his whole process because he found it a horrible thing, whatever the thing was. Well, there are things I find like, bleh, okay, really horrible. And did I want to really forgive the person for doing it? Actually, no, I did not. I was holding on to anger and upset and judgment and all this. And it's very important if a soul, if a being, if you, if I, if we choose water. Choose to progress in our evolution and our upliftment of energy while we're on the earth in this time frame and all that, and we can get into timelines and frames and realms and all that, but just keep it simple. Kiss, keep it simple, sweetie. Then those are part of the gateways. Even if it things like, for me, the idea of forgiving somebody for sexually abusing a child, for hitting a child, for harming a child, for hurting a child, for ignoring a child, for starving a child, for any of that stuff was almost impossible. Even saying the words were like tantamount to no. And I realized I can't be holding, as did he, on to whatever those feelings are and not forgiving going through that process, because then I'm not free. And that will show up in any number of different ways. And forgiving that behavior is very different from allowing it, condoning it, or approving of it. And even though I know that, and I do know that, somehow, which is what a lot of us do, energetically, emotionally, I was collapsing the two in a way, and there was no way in that approach to what was going on within me allow myself to go through the forgiveness process, because my stomach clenched, my head hurt, I was having very visceral responses to that whole concept. Now, I know of kids who were in one shape, form, or another abused. I was not like that. Okay, when I was a teen, I was hit with a strap a few times, literally, for lying about cheating on a diet. Yes, I did that. And yes, I definitely had done the cheating on the diet, and it was obvious. I lied anyway. Do I think I should have been beaten with a strap? No. But I was. And then I did something that stopped that, which is a completely different podcast, if and when I ever choose to do it. Anyway, so earlier this morning or somewhere in the middle of the night, whenever it was that I was up, I was lifting my frequency, doing something, which right now I don't even remember exactly. And I look at podcasts, and I also look at fun stuff that I enjoy, and it's lighter. And I saw and felt that that's what I was doing. So it was time to go another level higher. So I went up and thought and felt the action in the kids. And it's like I did not want to hold on to this kind of rage and anger, and kind of energetically, I'll do my best to kind of explain it. It would be as though the behavior in me was like attached. And I had to detach some of that and cleanse it away so it could go away. Energetically, I am an energy healer. I am a frequency shifter. I'm a clairvoyant. I'm a psychic. I don't just say these words. That is part of what makes me up. I have sometimes thought I come from the future for various reasons. I have experienced a near-death experience, so I have had times where time literally stood still. That was so amazing. A few times. So I have been lucky and blessed to have had experiences in this life that are different than whatever third dimension would seem to indicate is possible. I've had other things that are not possible according to that, and that is for sure. So I was in this space, and there was the me, and there was the energy, and it was stuck. And I energetically, and was shown how, and I call them the guides, the helpers, the light, whatever the language is, kind of was there with me. That's how I do it. That's not me, my ego. Nope, nope. It's me higher up. And loosen that stuff, and then was able to like let it go on a whole other level. And the freedom I felt inside was wonderful. Now, if I thought about that behavior and a person like the perpetrator, do I like it? No, at all. At all. And I didn't get that same horribleness in my system. I don't know what will happen tomorrow, and I'm not going to focus on this as my daily thing. I'm going to keep progressing and evolving and growing and sharing with you so that we all evolve. What I'm going to say to you is, even if something seems horrible and disgusting and gross and yuck, there is a way, there are processes. It's not some overnight thing where someone goes, oh, I forgave them, and they haven't done any process. I think most of that is, quite frankly, I don't mean to be judgmental, but for most people, they haven't done anything. They've said a few words. They may not have changed or shifted or evolved any frequency within themselves or in the world or anywhere else. So the words are relatively empty. And so my suggestion is check on yourself. See how authentic you really are in its process and how free you are to be, to think, and to act responsibly. Being free does not mean running amok. No. With freedom comes responsibility. So you behave, you act, you think, you do things responsibly. A dear friend of mine who'd been away for a while and is now back, yes, welcome back, Sharon, told me that you know who really loves the earth because they'll never want to hurt the earth. Who's a real earth person? Me, I love this planet. I have been ecological and environmentally conscious for years, way before it became a thing and a topic of conversation. Even before the 60s, which is when, and that means 1960s, which is when I think the book The Closing Circle came out, and the name of the author, which is an amazing book and brought a lot of things to my attention. I mean, I was a young lady around that time, and I turned 20 in 1962. Give you a picture. And I'm very interested in learning what the world was all about, because I always have been. And I am somebody, always have been, with a mind of my own, with curiosity, with intelligence, with awareness, now and then a little foolhardiness, and now and then hanging back out of fear and insecurity and doubt and self-judgment and that kind of thing. So there has been enough of that, which has been a steadily release and shift and transformation, which is why I can say this and talk to you. So it's possible. So this update, this full freedom follow-up, is letting you know that yes, I have done some energy work on myself, and at a certain point it went, and I was alone, and it was at some hour of the morning, whatever. I was able to allow myself to, the term people are using a lot now was tap into some feelings, and I was crying. And for me, It is usually hard, difficult to challenge to cry alone. Usually, not always, and I'm not crying all the time, but I am a sensitive, emotional, full feeling, passionate person. It's been helpful to have someone I love and trust hold me so I feel safer, or it somehow loosens that ability to let that energy flow, emotion, energy in motion. I was able to do it on my own. That was amazing. And let go and trust. And that was great. So I will again reiterate, do whatever real forgiveness work, freeing yourself of any of the negative effects of anything anyone did, including yourself, or omitted doing, not only to you, but that you know about. Okay, I was not a sexually abused child. That was not my background or history or that. No. But I would think about that, and I'm not saying now I still don't like it. It's like, and I know people to whom it's happened, as I said. It frees you, and it gives you the ability to act appropriately, whatever that might be, with and to any of the people there, because you will have a different freedom and ability to lift your frequency than you would if you were held trapped by anger or revenge or pain or any of that stuff, which keeps anybody trapped without looking to in any way, what's the word I want? Make out whatever your reason is. There's a word that makes it okay. Doesn't make it okay. It's not about, well, it's because of this, so I could do that. No. Being an uplifted soul, and many of you know that this talk about shifting Earth or changing our frequency, this is part of the process. We do not have to go to another planet. I like our planet. I love our planet. The Earth is a magnificent planet. I'm more, do what we need to do. I grow pineapples. I love pineapples. So every time I eat one, I start rooting them. I don't yet have any land. We have gravel where I live. There are trees over there. So I give them away to other people. Find some way to take care of the earth. When I publish a book, there's only one I actually allowed to be published. The others are online. I did it on 100% post-consumer recycled paper. That's the book. That's What If I don't have it right, do I? No, I have it off the bat. What if you are and life is miraculous? I still have maybe 20 copies left, and I'm not reprinting it at this point. I mean, you could get it on the internet, but these are gorgeous. Gorgeous. And so, what shall I do? We have some time. We do have some time. Okay, goody, goody, goody. So, what do I want to do? Okay, so what I want to tell everybody is I know we're in a time of shift, and it's obvious, and it's going to continue. This isn't going to stop anytime soon. This could go for 2 to 3 years, certainly a year, and I'm not going to go each and every day which one to look at or not look at. I've told you if you want political readings, go to Revealing Light, Tarot, Astrology, and Spirituality with Maryann, all on YouTube, as well as you can go to Susan Lynn, Spirit Navigator. You could tell them you heard about them from me and give them, oh, my nose itches, give them youtube.com/that @ moving forward now 22, so they can catch up with me. And that's kind of it. So what shall I say? Giving in to fear now is not the way to go. That's an old, 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 old game. At least 30,000 years, 20,000. And no, the Earth is not 5,000 years old. No, that's only one little section of time. Then we have a shift in another, it's about 5,200 years, all having to do with various ages, including the precession of the equinoxes, which I am not going to get into. But this is a time for new beginnings. And before there can be new beginnings, one has to clean up whatever is there that needs to be cleaned up. And as most people know, if you've ever cleaned up anything, everything comes out. So you know what you're cleaning up. You don't cover it up, you clean it up. So you have to see it and feel it and experience it to go, nope, we're done with this, and learn the lessons of how and why that accumulated in the first place. It is clutter, emotional, psychological, ancient, genetic, karmic patterning clutter. The guides gave me GKP, genetic karmic patterning, years ago. It's deeper than epigenetics. They explained to me years ago, before I ever heard of epigenetics, that when someone's born, not only are they born with whatever the characteristics are of their parents, but with the potential, positive or negative, of any of the qualities, belief systems, attitudes, habits that any of those people may have had. And that's not only for life on Earth, that's for life in any other form we may have been in, and we have. We are all multidimensional. We all have amazing abilities. Do not give yours away by this transhumanism and shoving all kinds of doodads in your system. One does not need that. It takes a little something to work on the self, but it becomes the self that evolves and grows. I mean, that's my path. If you want the doodads and the whatnot and the hoo-ha and want to become like a data, those are options. And you're free to choose them. I have a different path. So blessings, just know that you have options. So right now I am going to, what am I going to do? I am going to find, okay, we have a few moments. This is Soul Cards deck number 2. Let me, oh gosh, did I mix everything? Let me see what I get. I am going to pick a card that represents, what should I pick? A healthy action, behavior, vibration for any of us to allow in. A healthy, uplifting, could be fun, behavior, attitude for anyone to allow into their life at this time. Okay, should I just pick one? Okay, let's see what we get. We have, you see it before I see it. Oh, look at this. This is a card, I have not seen this card before. So what I'm getting from it, obviously, there's somebody or a being, to me, not clothed with their head in light, and light all around the heart center and the chest. So they're in light, they're protected, they're evolved, they're shifting. They could look like a person, a robot, or whatever they look like. And next to them, coiled, is a snake, or what appears to be a snake, at least the size of the person, if not bigger, with a sort of smile on its face. And this guy has something, I don't know, can you see it, written over here, or tattooed. So what does this mean? Life is a spiral. It's time to evolve. We are evolving, making peace. Snake isn't evil. Even what one had thought was evil could just be the absence of light and a level of ignorance. Shift, change, change and shift, and staying and being peaceful as it occurs. Okay, people, please like, love, subscribe, and share us grow and evolve. Thank you for participating. May you have create a fabulous, amazing life.